We've already looked at the 3. That's what it was set on when we first started, right? And we found that didn't work. So I'm not going to go with the last value of dim AT fit. What I really want is I want my linear dimensions to work with dim text. Or dim AT fit at 3. Same thing. When I do my dim diameter, I want dim UPT turned on. I want dim AT fit set to a 0 or 1, and then it will work. If I use dim radius, I want dim UPT turned on, and I want dim AT fit set to a 2. Believe it or not, we used to type these in every single time we did. We don't have to do that anymore, which is a nice thing. Now, this is where the children of our dim style family comes in. Because we can tell AutoCAD, I want you to have dim UPT off and dim text on for all linear dimensions, because I don't want to click every single dimension and try and get it in the center. So I want that UPT off for all linear dimensions. But then when I switch to dim diameter, I want AutoCAD to remember these values and place them for me just when I click that command. When I go to dim radius, I want it to set these values only for that command. Let's look at how we do it, because we know our values here. We know what we need them to be. So, again, this is probably a template, so I'm just going to delete everything. And let's open your dim style manager. Right now, you should have your Mech 1 shown, and it should say style overrides on here. Now, why does it have the style overrides? Can anybody tell me why that's there? Yeah, as soon as we on the command line change any variable, it's saying, oh, you're changing these, so we're going to run with this until you turn it off. So, thanks, Sean. Now, somebody else, can you tell me how do I get rid of the overrides?
You just switch back to the other one.
Display shortcut menus.
Declan?
Set them as your new defaults for your template.
Yeah, there's 2 ways to do it. One, set them all back manually, but there's a quicker way. There's a reset option. Hey, David, I think you just found it too. Highlight in Mech 1. Just click on it with your left mouse button. It'll turn blue and say set current. And it's going to say, do you want to get rid of your overrides? Say yes or okay. Now your overrides should all be gone. What happened there is now dim sen was set back to what it was at the start, dim UPT is off, and dim text is on. So it's back to the original Mech 1 style. Now, what we now need to do is we got to change this for those 2 commands. Right down here at the bottom, what this is working for, Mech 1 is working for all dimensions currently. Now, when I'm going to come down here, okay, and I want to choose, make sure Mech 1 is blue. We're going to come up to this box again and say new. Okay, now it comes up and says you got a copy of Mech 1, but here we have the exact same thing right here. Use for all dimensions. On this one, click it down and choose diameter. Now, I'm just going to stop while mine's down. Okay. Keep in mind this has linear, radial, diameter, ordinate, and meters and tolerances. Okay. So you can make children for any of those situations. Okay. Like if I'm doing tolerancing or dual dimensioning, I would use this one and then say, hey, whenever I use this command, I want it to go. Okay. We're going to deal with the radial and diameter options. Okay. So let's start with diameter. So choose diameter. Now as soon as you choose that, it grays out the name because it's going to use the Mech 1 name, right? Okay. So I just hit continue. So drop down, diameter, continue. And let's go set these values. So symbols and arrows tab, that has the dim sen. I'm going to set it to none. Then we're going to go to the Fit tab. And we're going to set dim AT Fit to a 0 or a 1. Remember, these are up here the same, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so just use one of the first two boxes. It doesn't matter because they both work fine for dim diameter. The dim UPT is sitting down here in the bottom right-hand corner. Okay. Turn that on. Is that all we need to change?
Do I turn on activated or on?
It should be activated. Then just say OK, and it'll bump you back to your original dialog box, and you should see now a Mech 1, and underneath it a child called diameter.
Yep.
So the Mech 1 is what they consider the parent, the diameter is the child. The diameter's got some chores, but they can lay on the couch and play their video games until you hit dim diameter.
You can get rid of here.
Yeah, and they never leave home.
You can't get rid of here. Get rid of here.
All right, so has everybody got that to where I'm at?
Yes.
All right, let's do it again. Click on Mech 1, make
Back
sure
when you
it's,
went that, your diameter went through the middle. Go back to when you went on.
Diameter.
Show your diameter. Mine didn't show in the middle. The center.
Did you click diameter?
When you go back on, oh well.
the middle.
Like, click on.
Click on diameter. Look where your diameter, so yours is going through the middle. Mine's not. Mine's still coming out. That shouldn't be that way.
If you said everything correct, no, this is just a view. I don't even look at this thing. It's wrong so many times.
Okay.
I quit looking at that 20 versions ago.
Okay. Well, put it in there.
Yeah. Now, it may be right, may not. I don't know. Okay, make sure Mech 1 is blue. Say new again. This time, under use for, on the new window, we're going to do radial. Okay, so choose your radius. Continue. Again, symbols and arrow, set dim, send to none. Now dim AT fit now has to be set to a 2. So you're clicking that text button. And you want dim UPT on.
Which box did you check?
I checked this one for text on dim AT fit, and then dim UPT I want it on. Okay, that's all we needed. Once you're done with that, just close it and resave this as a template. So do a save as, and I don't know which template you had. This was my A. Now you probably want to close this and open a new drawing and let's test it. You can test it right here if you want, just don't leave the circles in it. But I'll just, instead of I would close it and reopen your A template. Or I'm using an A, maybe you weren't. I'll just close that and come back here and reopen. Now it's a drawing. I'm going to throw a circle out here. I'm going to put an arc on it. Yeah, I don't need to do that. I'll just draw another circle. And I'm going to use these two dimensions just to make sure I did everything right. There's my two standards, perfect. I like those. And then diameter. That works also. Any questions on those? I guess not.
Yes.
My radius doesn't go outside of the circle.
My demo
Outside.
doesn't
The arc.
See, it didn't matter about the.
It will not go outside the arc.
Won't go outside the arc.
Is UPT, maybe you forgot that on the dim radius job. You can edit these now. Okay, keep in mind, you can edit them to check them. Because all I do to edit this, once I'm checking it, is I pull down my dim style dialog box, I can click on radio, in your case, Andy, like I click on radio, modify, and I can go check that. Now, of course, we'd have to do all the resaving and everything. Did you find it?
I feel like mine says all the same thing. You see, and that made a difference. It didn't go across the middle like you had done. And it's in zero. Just takes me in one. No. I said it right.
You good, Elise?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is everybody else good? Yeah, sorry.
Tuesday, I can't even go. It's okay. It's in my-
This is right.
But this one's not. So they're looking for- look at me. So,
Don't
so I'm
look at
not.
that. Looks like something on the screen.
Okay. It's wrong.
Close that.
It would all want it to be the same, so switch it from 0
It
to
won't do
1.
it. Oh, you're
Because if I pick 1 and you pick 0, I would
Yeah.
change it.
Okay. You said 0 or 1, so you won't do it.
You do them all.
Oh, yeah, the inside one.
Yeah, you said 0 or 1, so I put 0, so that's the
Oh, yeah,
outside.
yours is.
That's-
Now we gotta do that first. Oh, yeah. Another one? Again?
What?
Mine is not big. Which one was it?
Another piece.
If you've got these good, I'll tell you what, let's take a break right now. Okay, so I'll kind of circle around, help anybody that's got any problems.